So hello and welcome. I'm really happy to have you. Today, I had a very interesting conversation with Eva Kuleva, and she was really intrigued by what we do. So maybe soon she will join, and after this module, we can perhaps talk about how to find the right person, how to marry the right person. And for some of us, it's a bit too late, but maybe for the others, it will not be. But we can check if we did things correctly. Until we get there, we can improve our skills, how to work with people. And Stefi, I want to thank you so much, because for me, it's a very nice challenge, everything that you're sharing with us. And we even had some homework for today, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
So can I hear how it went for you? What happened, what you did, any reports?
All right. I managed to call two people that I haven't heard for a long time. I'm still working on the third one because I need to find the number. It's a bit longer story there. It was nice to talk to them. It was surprise for the first person. She used to work with me years ago, and then she moved to Plovdiv. So we do hear each other from time to time, but we haven't done it for a long time, more than a year. And it was a nice surprise because usually she calls me. And yeah, not because I don't want to, but I don't know, I don't
when you don't
about
put it on your calendar, usually we forget.
True.
So
Yeah,
tell me, which techniques did you use for your special reconnection and feedback and all that stuff and follow up? Did you use any special techniques?
This was the follow-up for sure. And as I said, she was a colleague of mine, so she knows the techniques.
She knows the tricks, so you didn't use them. Okay. Sounds good. And what about the other person?
The other person is our very close friend to me and to us. And they also moved out of Sofia, but in a small village close to Sofia. And since then, they just disappeared.
They are not on the radar anymore.
They are not, and we're planning to see each other, even though in the current situation, when the weather gets better, we can go out together. Yeah.
Okay, so, very good. Okay, so for you, was it something that was kind of just, oh, I need to do this kind of homework, or was it a nice experience?
Before I called, I took it as a task. And I would not say it
you didn't expect much.
Yes, but after the first call, I felt very well, and it made me feel nice. I don't know, happy. It's interesting to know what happened with these people. And for the second call, I was prepared, and yeah, I had no patience to do it.
Okay, that's very good. Anybody else? Would you like to share?
Well, okay.
Okay, yeah. So ladies first. Okay, go.
Yes,
thank you, Lumir. Mariana, tell us.
Well, I had to talk to one linguist from a place called Dagestan, but I am not sure how to say it in English. And he explained me a lot of stuff for the Russian language. and he's a good mathematician too.
So is he a friend or is this a new contact?
He's a friend of mine.
He's a friend. And when was the last time you talked with him?
It was long time ago.
Long time ago. So did you
remember.
talk strictly professional, so to say?
Well, we just choose a topic that is interesting for us. And yeah, it can be everything. It's very nice. He's a talented person.
Excellent. Okay, how did you feel after the conversation?
Well, I felt that I can, how can I say, I can trust him. And this is the most important thing for me.
Okay, so he gave you some advice, he gave you some ideas.
Yeah, and we just talked like normal people. He was not like using words.
Like an expert, yes. All right. So do you think you would like to call him soon again? After this call, did you feel like, oh, I really missed a lot by not contacting this person?
Yeah, to be honest.
Yeah. So this is what usually happens when you call somebody who is a very nice person, but you haven't talked for quite a while. Great job. So anybody else, Mariana? Or you managed only
the other
with one person?
The other person was from our school. We hadn't we haven't had time. So
ever since school? This is your first time to reconnect?
No, it's not my first time,
okay.
But I don't remember when we lost connection.
Okay.
And
so how did that conversation go?
Oh, it was very interesting. Well, she recommended me not to study audio engineering online.
Okay. So you got even practical recommendations.
She's a very good friend of mine.
Excellent. Okay, and did you have the same feeling that you regretted not calling for so long?
Yeah, she's also an interesting person.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, thank you so much. I think you did a great job. And now Lubomir wanted to share something.
Yes, I called to our best man in our wedding. We are very close friends with him, and we worked together in previous job. And yes, we are like shadows because all the time I know where is he, and and yes.
So it means that you haven't lost contact.
No, when we worked together.
Okay, at that time.
Yes, at that time. After that, we met rarely, and yes, we call each other, but maybe sometimes it takes half a year or 3 or 4 months. The interesting thing is that when we start conversation, we didn't need preparation. We were just talking with him like
you said goodbye 2 days ago. Yeah.
Yes, 2 or 3 days. It was very interesting, and it was the only one person, friend, when we talked, when we didn't talk few time or a long time, we just started talking, and because maybe we didn't call each other around Christmas. Even we didn't talk, we just sent
greetings.
messages.
Yes.
Greetings, yes. And because all the time at the moment he's the first one who called me. He was
Like
surprised.
Stefi.
Yes, he was surprised, and he, first time I felt that he is very happy, and I also was satisfied, and we talked 20 minutes. But, yes, I couldn't use some of the techniques, but wow effect, it was
It was there.
yes, and yes, following up, of course, because he worked different company, and he works around 11, not 11, sorry, 7 p.m. 19.
Okay, so he
Yes,
finishes late. Yeah.
yes, and we met with him 3 or 4 times a year, but and all the time when we met, we saw next one will be next week.
Will be sooner, yeah. And it didn't.
Yes. We know sometimes we because we know 10 years ago, and sometimes it works. We managed to meet 2 or 3 times a month, but after that,
long period of silence.
Yes, and we joke each other. We know, and we are very happy. Another.
Very good.
Because we have good friends in Serbia, and we didn't call each other. We didn't call each other maybe 1 year or 1.5 year, and they sent messages around Christmas, and there was again. So mostly they're the first one. Now I try to connect with them, but without success. I just sent messages, and how they are, they're how they help, their health wise, or about the yes, and they sent me. We use the Viber because you know that.
Yeah, with Serbia, you
yes,
can't really talk a lot.
Yes, and all the time, I think that we just change some nice messages, and I feel I was satisfied, and I feel happy.
Very good, very good. Thank you. Okay, Este, would you like to share anything?
Oh yes, I actually connect with a really good friend of mine that she's living in Sweden, I think, right now. Yeah, and I had a really it was good for me to get in touch with her because it's been a long time, and she said some incredible things that she's lost weight, she's working out right now. She's doing the same kind of workouts that I do, calisthenics.
Wow.
So we have a really good conversation about that. And she's doing a lot better financially. She said she'll come back to Bulgaria and get an apartment here. So I was really happy for her to hear that she's doing great. Yeah, this is one of my people. And the second one, wow, okay, she was an old basketball player, really, really old. And
old, you mean age?
Age, yeah, yeah,
okay.
age, yeah. So I didn't know that she went to wrestling or something like this. Yeah, and that was the opposite. She gained a lot of weight because she
yeah, she needs to be steady.
Yeah. I was like, wow. Like, okay, I was like, okay, that sounds interesting. If you up for it, do it.
Yeah.
But it was just nice to get in touch with her to see what's going on in her life as well. So for now, I had only 2 people, and I'm still waiting for my third one. Hasn't been responded yet.
Yeah. Wow. Great job.
Mhm.
So you see, sometimes it starts as a boring task, but it can turn out to be something really great. I managed to call friends who live in Germany now. And yeah, it was maybe the end of November when I last spoke with them. And we had a great call. We even used video, and I saw them and we talked about a lot of things. And it's the same thing like Lubomir said, whenever we hear from each other, it's like we have never lost contact. It starts immediately and we feel good and we share everything that's going on about us, about children, about politics, about elections, vaccine, anything. So we can talk normally. And from them, I heard about our mutual friend that he was COVID positive. And I talked with him, yeah, maybe a little after New Year, so sometime in January. And I used that to call him immediately after the conversation. So he said that he was kind of 8 days. He had high temperature, but nothing else, just the temperature. And we talked about his condition and all these things, but he told me about his family, his parents. Yeah, it was a really friendly call because he shared a lot, I shared a lot. We didn't talk about too many things because he didn't feel very well. But for me, it was really interesting because when I talked with the two guys, they told me about the third person. And when you keep in touch, it somehow it promotes talking with more and more people because they share about common friends and all these things. And yeah, it felt really good. And the same way, I felt sorry. Why didn't I call earlier? So maybe we can continue with this assignment and we can put more people on our list. So I'm sure that Stefi will have something interesting today too. And Stefi, I don't know what kind of homework you will assign this time. Let's see.
All right. So the next one, the next skill, and for me, this is one of the most important skills at work and also with my friends. This is the great listener, which means the skill to listen not just carefully, but as Stephen Covey separated the listening in five types of listening, but only the empathic listening is actually the real listening. And I'm sure all of us had situations when you're talking and you can see the person in front of you is just has no patience to say what to has no patience to wait for you to finish and say his words.
Yeah, there's something on the agenda.
Yes. You can just see this in his eyes and body language. So this is not such person cannot be a good customer service representative, cannot be a good friend at all.
Well, don't you have such friends?
I'm trying to avoid them. Yes.
Okay.
I don't think people that are listening so careful to my let's say problems or happy moments or whatever, if they're not interested, I'm not sure we could be good friends. We could be no
acquaintances. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. This is interesting. Could you please take a second and tell us about the different types: ignoring, pretending, selective, just to somehow get the idea. Of course, I know that we can talk a lot about each of them, but briefly.
Yeah. So everybody knows what ignoring means.
Well,
It means
can you
to
say
look
that
at-
this is really listening?
Well, you can still listen, but if you look at the other side,
Physically, yes.
this is the worst case. Pretending to listen, this is maybe something like waiting for the other side to finish. Selective listening is, I believe it's very often with kids and adults, especially during when they're teenagers. They're very selective listeners of their parents.
And I think customers are very selective too.
Customers too.
Yes, they are.
Okay.
Yes, so when you talk to customers, you have to be very clear in the communication. So hopefully they'll hear the right things.
Yeah.
Attentive listening. This is very close to the right listening because you're careful. You are not doing anything else, but
you're just collecting the facts.
But you're collecting the facts and empathic listening, which we call the right listening. This is when you not only hear the information, but you also accept it and can return. It doesn't need to be an advice, but you can return an emotion.
Yeah, some appropriate comment.
Yes.
Or some right word of encouragement or sympathy. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes. Or it's very important when you're talking to even to friends, to customers or friends, to make sure you understand them. So to ask questions that could, if something was not very clear, to ask the right questions so you can understand better what they mean, what they exactly mean, not what they say. So yeah, this is what I think is the difference between the different listenings.
Thank you. Yeah, that explains it. Okay.
Yeah, and my question to you, to all of you here, would be if you had cases with not that good listeners. Usually they're funny situations, and if somebody can share, it would be.
You say funny. I'm not so sure.
Not always, but yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes it gets funny because if you're not listening really careful, and you get a question in the middle of the conversation, it gets
yeah. And especially when you answer the question that you didn't hear.
Yeah.
Can anybody share?
Yes, I have some funny situations, and I use all these techniques. But yes, I agree that my favorite was attentive listening, and most of the time empathetic. But I use ignoring, pretending to listen, sometimes selective. Yes.
Can I ask a question? When do you use ignoring with me?
Not with you, no, not with all of us.
When I'm teaching grammar.
No, I know that it's useful for me, and I try to, because you present it in a different way, not like must or have to, and how I can use like an instrument, and I know that because I practice, and I can feel results after that. Yes. No,
Thank you. Thank you. I feel better now.
It's a different way. This is empathetic listening.
Well, I hope that my explanations of grammar require more attentive rather than empathetic, but okay, I will agree.
But I have some funny situation like when I use pretending to listen because when I was so busy and some colleague talked with me and I just say yes, yes, okay, it's fine. But how it's fine, man? I even it was a big problem, or but yes, so, sometimes I use. And
Okay, yeah,
the,
that's not very kind.
not yes, it's rude, but
All right.
sometimes.
What about the others? Any confessions? No, everybody's perfect. Well,
Yes.
I should say that quite often I practice ignoring, especially when it's not a friend. It's someone who is kind of boring and they require for me to listen and I don't want to. So I just tell them, could you please not talk now? No, 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 it's now.
Okay.
And then they somehow force me to ignore. Sometimes it comes very easy because I never intended to listen anyway. But I know sometimes it's quite rude, but I tried to say, and they didn't respect that it's not the right moment. I'm not in the mood, but they kind of forced me. And I remember a person who was so forceful. It was many years ago, but she called on the phone and she said, and now I want to tell you. And I said, sorry, I'm busy. No, 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 it's urgent. And she started speaking for half an hour, even more. And I'm busy, I'm doing something. She didn't respect anything. So I just put the phone away and I did what I had to do. And she was talking.
Yes.
So it was really rude. But that was the only way to
Of course.
not be extremely rude and just hang up. Maybe I should have.
Sometimes, but it's rare.
Yeah. Okay. So any homework, Stefi? Shall we talk for next time? Shall we call someone and listen?
I don't know. I haven't prepared the homework.
Maybe you can think and you can write it in the group.
Okay, I can think
Interesting.
about
Maybe you can give us specific assignment. Practice selective listening twice and practice ignoring once. And then we will select who the victim will be.
By the way,
Uh-huh.
thank you, Stefi, because this is what I'm listening to.
Okay.
Really?
Linda.com.
Uh-huh.
And well, she is helping me to remember all this stuff.
Okay, very good. So maybe next time you can add something.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Okay.
So this is up to you, Stefi, to assign homework for next time. And you can do it in the group. So thank you so much. I think it was quite challenging. And I do believe that these skills are very important. So we will continue next time.
Okay.
Have a nice evening. Thank you, guys.
You too.
And
Thank
it's
you.
getting more and more interesting, at least for me. So bye and see you.
Bye bye.
Bye bye. Thank you.